the second meeting in July.
Thanks.
Do we have a quorum?
Yeah, we have a quorum.
You're welcome to start the meeting.
Let's call this meeting to order. First order of business would be approval of the last meeting. What was it, third? Comments on the minutes. I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by King, second by Naylor. King,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Childs.
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 54 Walnut. There's an HSR attached to that. 54 Walnut is in the West Historical District, 1870. Prospectus is absolutely calling it historically significant. Changes mentioned would not affect its historic significance, nor would it affect the proximate houses and so forth. Move to receive the report from Prospectus.
Second.
Motion by King, second by Naylor to accept prospectus report. Childs,
Yes.
Naylor. Naylor,
Yes. Pardon
King,
me.
King.
Yes. I would say that they were remarking how the windows coming out are not historical windows. And they like that. So we have a presenter.
Good morning. This is Sue Zala from RSA Architects.
Good morning.
Morning, Sue.
There we go. Tell us your plans.
Because the way the space is used on the inside, they would like to block in that one door and remove the old steps and rebuild the steps in a sideways configuration, which actually projects less from the structure than the current stairs. And to put a pair of French doors a little bit more attractive and more accessible to the back. And then the kitchen window to be changed into a bump out type with a little bit of a standing seam roof. And if you see, there are a couple of pictures at the very end. This is not visible from any neighbor because there's a fence in the back. Toward the end, I got a kind of like a. Yeah, there you go.
Does that bump out window operate, or is that fixed?
You know what? Let me go back and look.
It looks pretty big for a casement. I was wondering if it could look like a double hung, maybe. That would be my only comment. Or be a double hung. If it's not operating anyway, it certainly wouldn't.
Yeah, I will.
Hey, Harry, could you switch back to the photographs, or Dominic, whoever's manipulating those? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, those are all newer windows. The back of the house does not have any historical significance like the front, and it's not really visible from anywhere either. So,
Can you explain more what you mean by a bump out window? I mean, I see the drawing. How far does it project? Or what's the shape? I'm not seeing it.
if you zoom in on A3, there, I'm sorry, the dimension is a little bit obscured, but about 9 inches out.
So it's just a square projecting with this metal seam shed.
Yeah, just a small little roof. It's just projecting out about 6 inches, just so they have a windowsill to put plants
Oh, I'm
on.
sorry. Oh, okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
what you're seeing underneath is an access to the basement. It's one of the, like from the
Oh,
Wizard of Oz.
pardon me. All right, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, no, that would only come out about 9 inches. It's
Oh, I see it now, the basement. Okay.
yeah.
Other than George's comment, to put a crossbar in to make it look like a double hung, seems fine to me.
I have a couple
Yeah.
comments.
Pardon, Bill?
I have a couple comments, if I may, if you go back to the elevation, please. I was just curious, have you cut a section through here to, and the only reason I ask you that is because this doesn't look like you could barely get a header in here. This is probably the fascia board, correct?
Well, that whole entire thing only projects 9 inches. It's like a box that's it's fixed to the existing structure in the frame. It
Sure.
doesn't really require a header at the outer portion, just a header in the existing opening.
So how does these rafters or these, there's got to be some sort of a roof or something. Do they just sit
It's
right on the,
it's only
window?
It's only projecting about 9 inches, so that's not a very difficult thing to. I mean, I do not have a section through it, but it's really small gauge framing. It's not anything that would require any depth.
Okay.
You could basically just probably hang on the side of the house.
It's just hanging on the side of the house. It's only 9 inches out.
You're hanging a cabinet on the outside of the house.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And I would put some brackets under here to look like it's being held up a little bit instead of just floating. Would be my gut. And then it'd be interesting to see what this side looks like, because sometimes you get these weird triangles, and then how does that get resolved with, is this just a board hanging out here? You know what I mean? Or does this board go back? And then what happens here? Is there a trim here? I mean, just some of the fine, I know you're not there yet, but some of the fine details. And, you know, my gut would be that if you have a stile and a rail, that you'd want to put a rail here, then have the roof with maybe a little bed mold or a cove running across there. But again, that's totally up to you guys. But
Well, we could try to match the rest of the trim on the back side of the house, but there isn't a whole lot to try to match. So, and it's a little bit all over the place. That window on to the left is a little bit different than everything else too. So,
Well, that's for sure.
and does this railing die right into the French door, or is it going to die into the wall here?
and it's just past the door.
Okay. That's the only comments I had.
The metal roof is just you do what everybody else is doing lately. You use a metal roof, I guess.
It's kind of a nice type of roof for such a small bit of roof. It's almost better than trying to introduce a teeny bit of shingles, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A little bit neater, yeah, I agree.
Bill, you were saying at this stage, but I think this is a one-shot deal here, so I don't think we're going to see more.
Final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'd need to see it again.
Right.
Okay.
And I
To approve.
think I would trust these guys to detail it out. I mean, it's the
It's already
projection.
been, this is a rear elevation. It's a historic building in a National Register district, but it's a rear elevation that's already had so much alteration.
Yes.
Right.
Good. Move to approve as presented.
Second,
And this is for final approval then?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by King, seconded by Naylor, final approval. Childs,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Naylor.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Same to you.
Thanks.
14 water, porch and deck and outdoor fireplace. They're working on a variance, Harry?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So this is my project, and the need for a variance relates to the interpretation of what we're doing here. We're basically showed you the rear porch of this house, but we didn't show you the deck. We hadn't sorted it out when we went through, and this project's obviously underway. It's been being built for several months. So we've revisited this and spent a lot of time looking at the deck and trying to allow for better accessibility into the house from outside. So that's what these ramping elevations are. It's a way to get up and actually into the house. The front porch is 4 or 5 steps up, so there's no easy way for a wheelchair to get up. And they've got elderly grandparents that are still alive. And then the variance relates to the fireplace. So the interpretation, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm just accepting that that's the way we've looked at it, is that the fireplace itself is a separate structure, so therefore an accessory structure. And this house already has a very large barn. That's a beautiful historic barn that is not being changed. So this is kind of being considered an additional accessory structure. So that's how we're going through the Board of Zoning Appeals next week. I might argue that we're connecting the deck to the house and we're connecting the fireplace to the deck, and you could say that's all one structure, but that's I guess just a point of view, and I think these guys are just trying to sort it out as best they can. So so that's where that comes from. We'll go through the Board of Zoning Appeals next week, and
So is the variance for the chimney structure?
so the variance is just for this chimney structure.
Okay.
This was kind of sketched out early on. I don't know if,
Is it the height? Is it this?
no, it's just the fact that we have a big accessory structure already.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
if this thing was only 8 feet tall, to me, it looks like the house burned down and the only thing left is the chimney.
Yes.
It makes,
Well,
makes
we don't-
no sense to me.
We don't want it necessarily to be as tall as it is, as much as we're concerned that with the house just about 10 feet away, whether that exterior chimney would draw if it were to be lower and then have the wind swirling around the house. It could keep it from drawing, because that's purely a functional issue. I mean, we're trying to make it look attractive, but it's really about
just that it's
getting it-
becoming a feature almost that distracts from the house and from the beautiful barn. And you've got this incredible house. I understand the draw. Can you go to a gas functioning unit instead of wood burn? It's the wood burning is causing the problem, right?
well, anything that's open. I mean, these guys really would like a real fireplace out there. So anything that's going to be open to burn wood, or even if it was open and burn gas, well, I guess a gas burning really wouldn't have an issue, but their desire is to have actual fires out there. So, I mean, I think it,
It's the scale of it and the public sightline from West Washington.
Oh,
That-
that's right. Oh, yeah, this is not the backyard in the truest sense, is it?
well, you're looking through another yard to see this. It's not on the street. It's
Yeah, but there's a real sight line to consider. from
There is a sight line to
West
the back of this house. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. And I mean, if it's, as I said, if a mason will tell me that this thing will draw at 10 feet lower, I'd love to do that.
This is on the west side.
I'm just concerned that if we build it and it doesn't draw, then that's a problem to solve. So,
That's my comment. I have a problem with this, with the height
The scale of it,
and the scale of it.
yeah.
It really does look like it's left behind.
23 feet.
too
Just-
tall, basically.
Just
Good
for
call.
clarification, it's going to, as George said, it's going to Board of Zoning Appeals. There's also a height variance with this, because
Hmm.
being treated as an accessory structure, it's only allowed to be 18 feet high.
I guess I'm not sure and I understand, where's the firebox?
It's facing the deck.
So what we're looking at is not the firebox, it's the television or some,
It's just a TV above it's just a TV above.
Oh, that's a TV.
because there's no point in watching a fire unless you're watching TV at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say
Especially-
that I would put that more into the realm of personal decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have any control of that, but that TV going in the backyard at the neighbors.
This is, these outside TVs is really getting to be an issue that zoning is gonna have to address, I think.
Yeah,
Light bleed, sound, noise pollution.
mhm.
Yeah, irritating light is in the code somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, but it's been unenforceable as far as I can tell so far. Landscape lighting.
What's the materials for the deck, George? Is it AZAC, and what's the balustrade and the handrail and the newel post? What does all that consist of?
It's an AZAC railing system and composite decking, and then AZAC trim surrounding the deck.
Okay.
AZAC,
So what's the lattice work made out of? Is that AZAC too, or?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be
Well,
non-rotting and high quality. So actually
Okay.
made for the project.
I wouldn't recommend to the Board of Zoning Appeals that this be approved. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's centered on the chimney. I assume your comments are centered on the chimney and not the rest.
Say that again.
So could you, if you guys could be specific
Yeah,
in the recommendation, if you object to the height of it, which I understand, could you please be specific about that? Because it's something I could potentially affect if I can be sure that, I mean, if I can talk it through the mason and feel good about
but
that.
you look at this historically significant house, this very well done, expensive brick chimney, with a TV above it. That's just,
Well,
that's
I really,
that's personal decision. I understand it. It's just.
well, let me show it to you without.
So is blue hair, you know?
That is
Blue hair.
that is an accessory that's just attached to the chimney.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't think you should
We're-
focus too much on that.
No, it's just the overall thing, though. The size of it is a question.
So if you're
That
concerned with the
chimney
height,
doesn't
please-
belong with the rest of the house and the setting, is my opinion.
Is there a rear? Can we look at the rear elevation, please?
Yeah, it kind of sets off from the rear elevation, so it is
Of the
You see
house.
some-
of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, if we could see the back of the house, please. Thank you.
in the barn.
Because I don't think it's wrong to have a
West.
chimney. I don't think it's
The whole-
wrong to have a chimney on this porch.
There we go.
If it were to be lower, it would have a very different effect. As I said, it's kind of standing off beside the rear elevation. It's not in front of it.
Harry, is there a point at which this outside fireplace becomes not an accessory structure? I mean,
See, what triggers it's permanently attached to the ground. That's how it becomes an accessory structure by definition.
Oh, okay. So it needs a variance no matter what.
Yeah, the variance is because we have more than 700 square feet of total accessory structure, which the barn's quite large, so.
So if you even if you got rid of the TV, lowered the shoulders, lowered the chimney, so that it's a functioning fireplace. And it's just a fireplace. It's,
It would need
I think the scale for me would be much more realistic.
Well,
I'm
that's
not sure
the
if you're
question.
thinking
If I
And half the
bring
height.
this through eight feet lower, is that going to be a problem for you? Because I think we're talking about the height. I mean, people are
Are you
putting,
trying to create sort of a privacy wall on that north side? I mean,
hold
if
on,
you're going to do wood burning, they could do a, bonfire pit in the deck. But if you're trying to create some kind of, I just do not think this is a solution for this location at this height. I don't even know if going to one story that feels even too high for me.
Can I make just a comment? Just a thought. I don't know if this works, George, but just to help you get what your client's looking for, would it be possible to, and this is kind of thinking out of the box here, but get rid of this roof right here, make this a flat roof, bring this column out to here, cover this area all the way over to the chimney so it becomes part of the composition, and do a flat roof with the railing. So the railing just goes here all the way over here. It ties in, incorporates the chimney, and goes back. I know it's a little more area covered here, but they could still have all this, a way to make this all deck and then get their chimney, and then it becomes part of the composition.
then it ties into the house. That's,
Correct.
Yeah,
that's
then it ties into the, yeah.
it's a consideration.
So you're looking today, though, for a recommendation on this drawing, right? To take-
It's a preliminary, right? Yeah. And so I'm hearing that it's too tall and doesn't feel part of
I'm gonna
the,
go to Jessica's and see if I can make sense.
Yes.
So do you want me to put a motion on?
Yes, please.
Let's just do motion for preliminary approval.
No, how about revise and resubmit? Because,
Oh, I was going to do a no. So we're just doing revise and
oh, I
rescind.
see. Yes, that's
Motion
fine.
for-
Very good. Go ahead.
Okay. Motion for preliminary approval.
I second.
Okay, motion for preliminary approval made by Naylor, seconded by King. Childs,
So I had a question. Are we approving the deck though, or is it all one
We're
composition?
probably not approving anything from what I can see.
Okay, then I guess it's no because of the chimney.
Right, yes.
but you guys, could you,
Yeah,
So-
I'll list some comments when I do my vote. Yeah.
if you're okay with the deck, that'd be great to hear that.
Yes.
I think the deck looks great.
Childs, no.
Correct, yeah.
Naylor,
No, due to the height obscuring public sightline, that the chimney creates another feature and distracts from the historic buildings on the property, but the deck appears acceptable.
My comment's the same as Wendy said. That was great, Wendy.
King,
Yes. No. For the same reasons.
okay, motion fails. Okay, George,
Thanks.
Thanks, George.
313 Miles Road, resubmission from 6-1, rear screen porch.
Mark, if you could start your camera and unmute, please. Mark Graham has been admitted to the meeting. We just need to get his attention and start the camera. There he goes. Takes a minute sometimes.
Okay.
good morning.
Hi,
So,
Mark.
Morning.
my name is Mark
Hi,
Graham
Mark.
from Mark Graham Classic Designs.
Morning.
How are you?
Very good, thank
Hey,
you.
Mark.
Hi, everyone. So we decided to follow your recommendation and actually do absolutely nothing at the front of the house. And instead focus on the rear and add the screen porch to the rear of the house. We also, as part of this process, needed to take down the existing rear covered porch, which just so little of it would be left and the integrity of the structure would be compromised because of the not understanding exactly what the existing footings are. So we're building an entirely new structure. Any comments?
Thank you for your consideration. I'm glad you're leaving the front alone, it seems. Let's look at the back.
I recall you had photos last time you were in. Harry, are those photos in this package?
No, they're not.
Okay, okay. As Steve said, I really appreciate you leaving the front of the house intact, and this appears to me to be a good solution for the homeowner. It's at the rear elevation, it's tucked back in, and it works for me. There may be some details, but I think this works.
I think it's a nice concept too. Looks good. My only comment would be is these are fairly big screens here. Would you ever consider maybe breaking this up just so that they're a little bit more vertical versus horizontal, or maybe you just do 3 like this, especially if the screen's so huge that you have to replace it, or if it bows in the wind or flexes. That's the only comment I would have. Other than that, it looks great.
Well, thank you. We considered smaller screens, and the homeowner, much preferred a larger screen, which is very similar in size to the neighbor's screen, the neighbor to the right. And so I followed her preference and drew the larger screens. They are not very high vertically, so I'm not overly concerned about the size of the screens, and it seems to have been pretty effective at the neighbor's house. So that's why we chose to do it this way.
Yeah,
I
because
think
horizontal. Yeah.
I think they're okay. Myself.
I have 3 screens that size in my house, and I was concerned about the wind, the big storm, and so forth. And other than a few BB holes, they've been fine after a very long time. So done right, that'll be fine.
And I'd consider just using AZAC mark instead of plywood for that panel. Other than that, just from a durability standpoint.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is final approval?
Yes.
Please.
I move for final approval of plans as presented.
I second.
Motion by Naylor, second by King for final approval. King,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes,
Childs.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you again, Mark.
Bye.
12 Church Street, proposing addition, attached garage and renovation, HSR required. It also is in the West Side Historical District, 1871, and prospectus judged it to be historically significant, and it's certainly over 100 years old. Let's take a look at the project. Oh, I move to receive the report.
Second,
Motion by King, second by Naylor to accept HSR report. King,
Yes.
Childs,
Yes.
Naylor.
yes.
Would the person representing this project please raise your hand in Zoom so I can identify you and invite you in the conversation? Thanks, Anthony. See you.
This had an addition done in the 50s that prospectus didn't care for at all. They're saying that the changes in the back, it's getting rid of a bunch of non-historical additions from the 50s, and that it's not visible at all from the street. And that was made very clear. Who do we have?
We have Tony from RSA.
It just says Tony, but it's Rick and Steve. Yeah. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, so this house belongs to Tony Martino. I don't know if you guys know him. He also owns the house behind this one that's down on the river. This garage, it's an interesting garage. It's kind of seen better days, and it's a very low door. The way the topography works down in there right now to enter off the side, it's only about 6'4" high, the existing condition, and then it actually has a concrete
Woo,
roof.
woo. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Hey,
Good.
Janet, you gotta mute yourself.
Got to mute.
Sorry.
Can you
Sorry.
guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
So yeah, the ceiling's real low. It's got a jog in it. The doors are on the side. The grade's coming down the side. It's very low overhead door. So the idea is to take, and there's a deck that exists above it. So functionally, it's supposed to do the same things. But the idea is to bring the doors around to the rear so we can pick up a little more grade and get dig the thing out deeper and make it work better. So I mean that's really it, is to tear the old one off and rebuild it kind of the right way. So you'll enter in from the back instead of from the side, like the existing condition drawing there shows.
Is the deck now above the first floor level? Did the deck come up, or did the garage floor go down?
Above the first floor level a little bit, yeah. So that you'll see on the second floor plan how that there's a little stairway there where you come out of the house, you got to come up a couple of steps.
Oh, could we look at the plans?
Go the other way.
What do you want me to look at, Rick? That's
That's
The
on,
second floor plan?
about the only good elevation I have.
yeah, there's a floor plan next to the foundation plan.
Yeah, page 14, I think the upper left corner, yeah.
There we go.
All for another project. I'll call you back in a minute.
Wait, pan to the left, Harry, please.
All right,
There you
go. 5 minutes ago.
So there's already a step that comes out, up that existing sliding door. There's already a step up to a deck, and then there's another set of steps up even farther. We're getting rid of all those sort of mid stairs that sort of consolidating in
Gotcha.
one deck level, but keeping that little landing in front of that door.
I see.
So the new deck and the old deck are above the floor line, but below the windows that are to the rear.
Correct, yes. Well, yeah, the sliding glass doors there, so obviously that's the reason for that little drop area in the bottom right of the deck plan. Still gotta get out and up the stairs onto the deck.
Technically, what's your deck surface? What's that? How's that being handled?
The deck material, or like AZEK
Yeah,
composite.
it'll be a composite deck.
So it's on sleepers over the roof?
Right, yes. I mean, this is preliminary, we don't have construction drawings completely together yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the idea, sleepers over the roof, pitch it off, catch it in the gutter, send it to the river.
I don't have any problem with this approach.
No.
I think this is more functional and obviously what's there is in bad disrepair and disintegrating, so they need a new garage. So this will be a better garage for them.
I don't have a problem with this.
I move for preliminary approval.
Second?
Motion by King, seconded by Naylor for preliminary approval. King,
Yes.
Childs,
Yes.
Naylor.
Yes.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. 514 Solon Road, replacing windows and siding with changes to material, table from last meeting.
Sean, thank you for joining us. If you could please unmute and start your camera.
We have a representative, you say?
We do. Sean, you're muted. If you could unmute, please. If you need to, you can press your space bar for a temporary unmute if you can't find the button. But it looks like you might be on your phone. I wonder. We're working on it.
Next meeting will be face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
George,
know
you're gonna
about
have to wear pants.
My guess is Sean, let's see where you are here. Wonder if, there you are. Let's get you unmuted and camera started if you can. Looks like we're fighting some technology on this one.
Do you want to jump to the next one and come back?
Yeah, let Sean work on what he's got
Yeah.
going there. If you can help him, Christie.
Sure,
behind
I'm
the-
gonna,
behind the
before we
curtain.
move on, I'm going to give Sean my office number. So if he needs to call to troubleshoot his technology, I'm at my desk.
Good,
You
good
can
idea.
hear me, Sean. My phone number is 440-247-2875. This is Christy Holmes at Village Hall, 440-247-2875. I'd be happy to help you with your technology.
Okay, Sean, I think we'll see you soon, I hope. Moving on to 126 Olive Street, Moore, resubmission from 6/1, changes to openings and windows. Do we have somebody in attendance?
Yeah, there's somebody there. I think Christie just needs to move him over. He has his hand raised.
Larry is joining the meeting. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Larry.
Hi,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Hi.
Hi.
So why don't you go ahead and bring us up to speed from what you did? from
You
that-
should have the drawings Ann did of the exterior. You requested a black and white line drawing of the house with the windows and the proposed positions, which I sent in, and talked about the header for the windows, for the window and back, which we included that, and Ann said that's what you were looking for. So you should have the two line drawings that you requested in the header information as well as all window information.
So those line drawings are of the proposed work, Larry?
Right, this number 6 was the one provided by Ann. And I think if you go underneath that, I think, yeah, that's the header detail. And let's see, there's also the line drawings of the house. Let's see, I can't see where
I
it's
think
at.
those are the first drawings, Harry.
Yeah, those were the first ones.
Ha.
Those are
We're seeing,
the-
yeah, and photos.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
So those are
that's the rear of
the,
the house. That's the one that was in question. That you wanted to see that middle window where it would exist in a line drawing.
gotcha. And those are the proposed, okay.
Okay, so the front is 1 over
And the
1.
front's the same, except we took away the masonry around the post and just left it as is in the condition it is currently.
And then could you just go into what you're doing at the entry? You're making
We're
those
not doing
changes,
anything. Yeah, we're not going to change the entry at all.
Right.
but
So
that
the,
entry doesn't look the same as the drawing.
no, that's true, but
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's drawn accurately, but it is existing to remain, so we
Oh,
don't have
Right.
to worry about it.
It
Okay,
will
Bingo
remain
with it.
that photograph.
okay.
So
My only
taking out the
question-
shutters.
So the bay goes away?
The bay window goes away, right? That goes to the in slider that we talked about last time.
Yeah.
And the number 5, the garden window goes away as well.
Yeah.
And that's my
It'll be
only
much more
comment.
representative of what was originally built.
Right. Let's go back up to Ann's drawing.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
My only question about this is that the replacement window, that very wide, high double hung that is to the right of the existing entry.
Okay.
It looks like it ought to be two smaller double hungs that are, more vertically proportioned to kind of match every other window on the house. Other than that, I don't.
Is that window
Maybe
over
add a
something?
vertical mutton.
Well, not even that. I think it just should be 2 windows, just like the other pairs. We have pairs
I
of
see.
windows characteristic across here, and then we've got pairs of windows with a kind of picture infill. So that's all kind of consistent. And then I think that should be a pair of windows as well. That's my
Is it over something? Why is
Yeah,
it high?
it's over.
Yeah, it's over the
kitchen
sink. Yeah.
just for consistent proportion.
Yeah. I mean, probably the best solution would be just 2 casements over the sink. That way they can reach them to crank them open and.
Right.
It almost looked like this.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
So you want to see it split vertically.
Yes. Well, 2 windows, so.
And I think it may be more practically useful for you to be able to open them if you desire to do that. But just more for more to keep it more vertical, like the other double hungs. It's the
Okay.
only stretched wide one.
I have a question about trying to figure out. Doesn't look like there's, I don't know whose drawing this is. On the plan, I can't tell whether the window 9, or room 9, I don't know what, on the plan, there's a slider, so that's egress. But 2 and 3, bedrooms 2 and 3, are those windows egress windows?
Bedrooms 2 and 3. Let me see where they're. I have to see the number. 2 and 3. Yes, they are.
Okay. So that's an operable casement window in that back bedroom
In 2 and 3?
in 3.
Yes.
Okay. As long as you can get out.
Yep, you sure can.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yes.
Motion for final approval, retaining existing entry and using 2 casement windows at number 5 location to west of entry instead of single window.
Second?
Motion by Naylor, seconded by King for final approval. Childs,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you very much.
Harry, this is Christy. I have Sean on my speakerphone
Okay.
and he is actually on screen as well. So let's do a test. Hey, Sean, could you introduce yourself to the board?
Yes, ma'am. Sean Cadillac. I'm with Weathersfield Home Services in Cuyahoga Falls.
Oh, there
Great,
you
how's
are.
that volume come through okay?
Yes.
I didn't hear what, I didn't
Yes.
hear it.
Did you hear that okay?
No, I did not.
Barely.
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 Okay.
Is this any better?
So, Sean, can you turn your video on?
It's on.
Done.
Sean, try again, please.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Thank you.
Yep.
Jesse, get me back. Come here.
Sean, you're okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I need it turned up. Guys, we're looking to put reside a house and garage. We're going to sheet and side over 3 windows in the rear of the house, which we've included pictures of. That's good. And sheet and side over 2 of the windows above the garage, which we've also included pictures of.
You're going to sheet over, you said?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Remove those existing windows, plywood, stud, insulate over, and then from the outside, put our house wrap on and side it. From the inside, the homeowner is taking care of any construction on the inside of the home.
And what is the nature of the siding you're putting on? And is it going over the brick as well, or just in the?
No, sir. Brick will still be exposed. So on the front here, where we're looking in the picture you have up, we're going to be closing in those 2 windows, and we're going to actually be putting up a 7-inch rough split cedar shake. It's an actual vinyl product, not the wood. We're also going to continue that over the garage. And then the rest of the house is going to have a 5-inch vinyl siding.
So you've got a mix of shake and siding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shake and a couple accessory areas.
So all the T111's going away?
Yes, sir. T111 is going to be covered. We're not going to remove the T111, of course, but we are going to cover over it with a 3/8 fan fold.
And the shake is also at this little circled area that like?
No, yes. Through here, we're going to do the shake around there. And then over to the left side, I think it's included in other pictures. I think we're cutting in. We're going to actually put picture windows in.
Picture windows in where?
Picture windows to go through.
What?
See the drawings of that.
I'm sorry, sir?
We'd like to see drawings of that.
Yeah. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Are you replacing?
Look at which picture? So it's included in one of the pictures before, in between, right where we're looking now, it's actually the next picture, number 6. So the top and bottom windows stay as are. We come in and pull out that paneling, and we're actually going to install transom fixed picture windows. They look at that as a dead spot, and they would like to see that opened up to give them more light in there as well.
So it's going to be a glass curtain wall?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes, ma'am. They don't like the wood running through there from the inside. They want a wall of windows. They will have a little bit of trim from the top windows to our picture windows, and from the bottom windows to our picture windows that they're going to have to complete on the inside.
Is the upper and lower windows are staying?
Yes, sir.
You're adding 5 windows in between them.
I think we need to see some drawings on this.
Because that's going to come down to how the homeowners want to split it.
Wait, stop. This is not a siding job. This is a structural job. And
siding and window job.
There's no way we should approve anything.
Yeah, we need drawings.
Without
we're not changing the structure.
architecture drawings.
We need to know what it's going to look like, please.
That's a wall of glass.
So you want me to draw windows? You should draw windows across the number
And trim,
6 to show
very
you the
specific.
actual where we're putting.
We need architectural drawings of the house, so we understand
house.
the relationship between all these different elements.
You're completely changing the architecture. And
We want to make sure it gets along.
yeah. And
Okay.
what would that be? 8, 16, 20-foot tall wall of glass that's 25 feet wide, 30 feet wide?
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be the same height. We're not changing the height of the wall of glass. All I'm doing is going into the middle of it and removing some rotted wood and putting a strip of glass through the middle. The height of those windows is not changing. That's how it is.
But
we're not going any bigger than what's there.
That wall may be relying on that wood section for its integrity structure.
So we'd like
the wind load requirements have changed since we did this, or since this was designed and built. There's
So when you come
Make
back,
a
I
motion
would,
to revise and resubmit with architectural drawings.
Okay.
I think we should specifically let him know what we need to see on the drawings.
Okay.
trim, specifications, very exact measurements. We want
Elevation.
to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Sir.
Elevations, yes. Okay.
Yeah, all the elevations where you're doing a mix of different, materials that,
Yes, sir.
We'll want to see the
windows-
others. We'll want to see the other side of the house that you're not touching. We want to know all about the house all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay. And did they not, and you want drawings of it, the picture, not pictures?
correct.
Okay, yes, sir.
I move we revise and resubmit.
Second.
Yeah.
A motion by King, seconded by Childs to revise and resubmit. Show all 4 elevations and
Specific drawings.
with some structural specific drawings. King,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Childs.
Yes.
Okay, Sean, again,
you,
questions,
guys.
give me a call.
Thank you.
All right, John.
Thanks.
64 East Washington, accessory structure preliminary.
Oh, is this preliminary also? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty familiar with the house next door to the left of this, but I did just take a run up the driveway, or I should say down the driveway. And I was struck by how tight that little spot and how much it drops. This is really, I completely understand where the garage door is now, because I don't think you could get into it any other way. And it's, not an easy little spot for a garage there.
I helped a friend move a piece of furniture out of there a month ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's tight.
It's
I
tight.
drove my 4Runner down there, and it was a feat to get it back out, and I'll tell you that. It's a challenging situation.
And it's very, I'm two or three doors up from this house. It is very sunk in from view, from street view.
You can't see this from the street at all.
But I do think this is a big improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to approve? No.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there's Becky.
Hi, guys.
We just thought we'd present for you today,
Oh,
last
thank you.
agenda.
That's
Let's just do
sweet of
this
you.
for Becky, and yeah.
I become less and less important every day.
I think it looks very nice.
Were there specific questions we had
Yeah,
that aren't answered? Because I think it looks great.
I think it looks great. Becky, what was it we asked you to do?
Nothing. It's just a procedural issue. The only reason we're back.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
now I think, Harry, this can be technically a preliminary
Correct.
presentation and.
Oh, walk-in before. Yeah.
Oh, it was a walk-in. Okay,
Walk-in.
motion for preliminary approval of plans is presented.
Second.
Well, given how we beat it to death during the walk-in,
Yeah.
can we move on from the preliminary? Is that a reasonable thing? in this
I could
situation?
go.
Yeah. You want to give me a final? No, I'm just kidding. I'm
What
kidding.
George is going no.
Well, only because they've got to get the variance before we can allow.
Oh,
it.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's the only.
So motion, I made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Naylor, seconded by Childs for preliminary approval. King,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Childs.
Yes.
Thank you.
We
Thank
give it a
you.
go.
you.
Okay.
Happy Tuesday. Have a good
Happy
day.
Tuesday.
We just had a note pop, Becky, before you go, we just had a note pop up about drainage back to May Court, but I don't think you're changing the footprint too much, are you? Or
Well,
maybe-
I'm adding this like 10 square feet over here. Is that?
Someone
No.
must be,
No impact on drainage.
No.
It currently the downspouts on the garage are on splash blocks, and there's a storm sewer on the west side of the house.
okay. I just wanted to address that note. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's good to know that there's concern about it. I didn't know there was any concern about
Water
it.
is a big issue on this street.
Yeah, water is a big issue in Chagrin Falls.
It goes that direction.
Hey, Becky, the catch basin that's on the, I think it's the west elevation, is there any chance that they could tie the downspouts into that? Because the one downspout that's on the front right corner, it looks like it just goes across the surface and into it. Would it be possible?
Yeah, I don't see any reason that
Okay.
is an issue. Yeah, we're happy to do that. On the back side, Harry, there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet of just gravel. So I think they're probably trying to help being
Right.
at the bottom. I mean, if anybody's impacted by it, it's them, not the
I
neighbors.
have to tell
or-
you, the challenge between East Washington and Maycourt is how to keep it off your property. It's just a chronic.
Yeah. Well, literally, it's just like a gravel pit behind this garage. So I think they're doing what they can. But yeah, Harry, just let me know whatever it is you're wanting us to do, and we'll do it.
Yeah. Next time you're out there, take a look at it. You'll see, I think it's like a 24-inch catch basin. Maybe they can pick up the back corner downspout and take it over that catch basin.
So are we finished in 1 hour today? Do we have any walk-ins?
No walk-ins. Wait, walk-ins? Nope. I don't see
He's
it.
gone. He's left the building. No walk-ins, Harry?
Not that I'm aware of, unless Chrissy has somebody out there.
Well, I do have a hand raised from RSA Architects. I'm not sure what that's in regards to, but let's let them ask a question if they have to. RSA, are you out there in the world? I see your hand raised. If you'd like, you're welcome to speak.
Yes, I am out here.
Thank you.
You have a walk. We've got an interesting situation down at what used to be Bull and Bird, and now it's going to be a JoJo's or whatever we're going to end up calling it. As the demolition proceeded in there, there's a lot of stuff that got covered up last time. So there's some, if you go by, you'll see the main roof on the big gable is being actually replaced because it just wasn't safe. And then we had an issue on the wall, the roof where the trout was, where there was a lot of water damage where joists didn't even kind of connect to the wall. So that's all. And Harry was there and looked at both of these. You can kind of tear it apart and rebuild it. So we're doing that. In the process, we want to make a change to couple changes to the building, to the north wall of what we used to call the trout room. Can you let me share my screen?
Yeah, I got to stop to share.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rick.
I will try to make this quick because I know everybody's got a bunch of stuff to do. But that's not the one I want. Get you guys. I'm coming. Happening. Okay, so this room right here, which you all formerly knew as a trout room. The concept now is to kind of rename it as the garden room, and we'll explain why that is. But currently there's 3 windows, this fireplace, which we're going to get into a little bit, a door and another window tucked in the corner. To pay no attention to the tables, we're still working some seating plans up, but the proposal is to leave these 3 windows as they are, remove the fireplace, and then add 3 windows, another window, the door, and another window. Just make this a wall of glass that focuses on the garden that's out here in between in the courtyard there. So on the front, what we had previously had approved was this. We're also considering adding just glass all the way across here and making this an enclosed room, but it's not drawing here. And then that upper area, the way that roof was in there before, you couldn't have put the windows in like we proposed. We discovered there were actually 2 roofs there was a 2x8 roof or 2x10 roof, and then a membrane, and then a 2x6 roof on top, and a lot of it was rotted out. So when the water infiltrated along this edge in the past, all that happened was it just kind of got another layer of 4-ply asphalt roof over it, and there the water kept infiltrating and it kept rotting all these roof joists and things out. So we're proposing to take those windows out and keep this parapet at the same height, but the ceiling inside will follow part of the roof inside in the back of this. This mirrors what was already happening in part of the room, but it was all covered up. So this is actually one big gable here. It comes up and goes back down. So we want to put this parapet up there instead and not have those two little windows way high up in the wall that didn't really work. And here's the existing condition on that north wall where the 3 windows and these 2 engaged pilasters are at. And this stone fireplace. Once upon a time, this was a working fireplace, but all the way back in the days, they tell me the gentleman by the name of Carl Vessel owned this building. And this chimney started leaning pretty bad, and they took it down and left it like this. There was a stone or cast concrete cap on top that you could actually see daylight through the top there. So when the guys took that off to see what was going on inside, there was an analysis of that fireplace that leads us to believe it really needs to go. And in its place, we proposed this big wall of glass. So this is an existing door. This is an existing window. These other 5 windows are new. We're kind of mimicking these pilasters. We got to rebuild some of them because a lot of them are rotted out. And then behind this parapet that remains, we'd do a couple collection boxes from back behind there. And then this part of the sloping roof stays the same. So essentially this facade remains as is, with the exception of the fenestration. And
why isn't this just submitted as a field change?
good question. I mean, we would like to, if that, we can do that, but it's happening so fast because the building's open right now. You know,
Yeah, I think that it works as long as that fenestration pattern matches. Does it blend with the inn as well?
Could I just say, why come up with a scheme that saves the front windows? I know there is one. I mean, just keep the windows. Like we've given it, like this whole thing is being ripped apart. We've lost the historic building, all for a restaurant that may or may not be there in 10 years. And why don't we just save the front windows and come up with a roof solution that saves the windows? I mean, the side thing that you're proposing is one thing. That's,
no
to
windows
me, is not a problem, but the front windows going away, I mean, let's just come up with a roof that saves them.
So George, the front windows are at this height, right?
Yeah.
See where this roof is? That roof's already built.
Yeah, well, so you showed us something with windows before. What happened? What, you build your roof a foot too high? And why would it be okay to glass in an open porch?
It was these two little square windows here was what we're wanting to get rid of because that roof slopes down across there.
Yeah, what, like just alter the roof slope or make it work. I mean,
membrane.
I mean, you showed it to us. You sold us on it. Like, well, just execute it.
Because we thought this was flat back here and serviceable, and when we tore it apart, we found out it wasn't.
I know, but then you can make a new flat serviceable roof.
I don't understand.
I just don't like the whole bait and switch aspect of this.
Yeah, it looks better with the windows. It just does.
Raise your hand. You gotta raise your hand. All right, okay. So George, it's not a bait and switch. It's really not a bait. Rick Duty's trying to get on it. Well,
can you guys just come back with a field change next time and consider the fact that this, what was a historic building, is like been taken apart, put together. It's now a new building. I mean,
well,
come up with something that saves those windows, and then the side is a whole different issue. The side is not really as problematic, but the front there, just make it work.
Well, that's what
I mean. Don't just go and then submit for a field change for next time, so that we're not like
So
you
what
know.
we do on the front is take these windows and put them in here.
Right, that's a field change. I don't even know how that, like, Harry hasn't even been able to review that for zoning. Are you allowed to make more building there?
It's already building, it has a roof on it, yeah, we've counted for parking.
A porch is different from a building.
Not with the parking plan and all that, we've done all that. So this roof exists, the tables and chairs exist. No changes.
Can we just let you guys think this over and come back in for real instead of just hopping in on that and trying to like fast talk this whole thing through?
Okay, we've been thinking it over for a week now, because it's, I mean, it didn't just happen yesterday morning. So, you know, we're not trying to fast talk anything, we're trying to present what has to happen. But again, the building is open. Get in there and the roof's all rotted out. You gotta do something. You can't just sit there and put a tarp over it and wait 3 weeks.
So I think the feedback from the board is retain the windows and the facade that were presented in the plan, the approved plans, and that we're open to the change in the fenestration on the north elevation as long as it ties into the existing in windows and windows on.
Yeah, meaning double hung.
It matches.
And I
these-
think that's the feedback we have.
It matches these
Well
windows.
put.
Taller.
Well put.
Thanks, Wendy.
So these double hung, we were going to use casements so that they could open, but you know. But where's my photos again?
Yeah, but they don't look, their proportion doesn't match the proportion of the double
Yeah,
hung.
they just, I think it needs to be gone and drawn and brought back with those comments.
Yep.
Okay,
Mr. Duty's trying to talk, but I really,
I know, but we can talk with them at your actual submission. That's great.
oh,
There's
Yeah.
nothing Rick's gonna say that's gonna like turn this thing around.
so you want us to wait 2 weeks and do nothing?
No,
You want to
come
go
up
through
with a
the normal
plan.
process like anyone. Because you're not just making this isn't just a structural field change. And I know there's a structural aspect to it, but we also know there's 10 solutions for every problem. Like,
Rick, regardless, you're gonna have to resubmit in 2 weeks anyways, because you can't approve something that's not on the agenda.
I know, we're just in the direction, which I guess we got. You guys want to see those little windows back up in here, because that's what we.
That's
had.
right.
And
Right.
And,
Thank you, Rick. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
thank you.
okay, guys, thanks for all your understanding and appreciation. All right, take care.
All right. Going, gone.
No one else is out there, Christie?
Okay. Let's slam that door. Thank you all. See you in 2
Thank
weeks.
you.
Live and on
Thank
stage.
you, live and in person.
Live and on stage. Okay.
all right,
All right.
good on. Bye.
Bye.